Welcome back to our channel Cooking with Us. Today we're having a special guest. It's an international chef called Sophie.
Okay, so today we're going to show you how to make your own pizza and
tell us, Sophie, which are the ingredients that we're going to use in this meal?
okay, we are going to use
a cup of hot water, a teaspoon of yeast, 300 grams of flour, a tablespoon of olive oil, and we will use as many cheese as you like. You can choose any type of cheese that you want, and for this recipe we will use mozzarella cheese, provolone, and as a topic for a second pizza, also for this recipe we will use pepperoni. Basil. Don't forget to have somewhere close to you some salt and sugar.
For this recipe, we will use pepperoni as topping, but you can add whatever you like. A fun fact about pepperoni is that it is the most popular topping around the world.
As it is a very versatile food, you can actually prepare it with any variation that you wish. The most important part, and the one you have to strictly follow, is the preparation of the dough. This will guarantee a nice and tasty pizza. The first ingredient that is required to prepare the dough is flour. Make sure to pour 300 grams of it and pour them in a large bowl. Then you will add a teaspoon of yeast and a teaspoon of salt. In the bowl, combine the previous ingredients. Then make a well in the middle and add the liquid ingredients, olive oil and water. Using a spoon, mix until a shaggy dough begins to form. Once the mixture is mostly hydrated, flour a surface, a clean work surface, and turn the dough out onto it. Knead it for 10 to 15 minutes until the dough is soft, smooth, and bouncy, like Goose's and not like mine.
Okay. The most notable variation you can make with pizza dough is its consistency. If you like a fluffy consistency in your pizza dough, you must leave it enough time for it to swell up after the preparation. This can take as long as you wish. 24 hours straight will make your pizza crust as fluffy as a cloud. Fun facts about pizza. 93% of Americans who eat pizza do it once a month, and 350 slices of pizza per second are eaten in America.
And when you think about pizza, you may think of Italian food, but its real origin comes from Greek and Egyptian cultures. They cooked what we now know as pizza in the form of a flatbread, topping it with olive oil and spices. The modern pizza comes from the 19th century, when tomato was added in Naples, Italy.
October is the National Pizza Month.
There is an International Pizza Expo, and it is the largest pizza industry show, and it takes place once a year in Las Vegas.
In In the preparation of the dough, the spinning part can be as fancy as you like. It even has its own professional level sporting event. Approximately 61,269 pizzerias around the United States.
Once the dough has rested, grease a baking sheet. Stretch and press the dough into a thin round. Make it thinner than you think it should be, as it will slightly shrink and puff up during baking.
Place the stretched crust onto the baking sheet and then add the sauce and ingredients of your choice. In this recipe, we added a base of tomato sauce and 3 types of cheese. One with pepperoni and the other one with slices of tomato and basil.
Preheat the oven in between 220 degrees. Bake for 15 minutes, or until you're happy with the appearance of your crust and cheese. Cheese can look golden brown, and then you'll know it is time for it to go out.
In the next episode, Cooking with Goose, we will prepare some apple jam tarts.
For this, we will need any fruit of your choice. We are choosing here blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries for the topping. We will need milk and butter. Also coconut, and for the sauce we will need some apples, sugar, and water. You can also add extra ingredients such as cinnamon or vanilla. And bring back the flour and the yeast because we will be using it again.
Well guys, we committed a little mistake adding the milk. We thought it would be okay to add half a liter, but no, not really. It's just half a cup or less, according to the dough.
As we added too much milk, our dough turned out being too liquid. But we tried to fix it by putting more flour in it. Then we had to put some more sugar and also cinnamon to compensate the flavor.
And then we scatter a thin layer of dough, removing all the remaining dough from the mold.
As you do this, preheat the oven to 220 degrees. To save plenty of time, you can actually use a ready-made short crust pastry for this recipe. If you do this, be sure to buy a block rather than ready rolled, as it is easier to roll it to the thickness you require. This recipe can be seen as a variation of a French fruit tart, which is a sweet or savory dish made from pastry dough with a firm and crumbly crust. Tarts are typically baked in a pan with shallow sides and a removable bottom, since they only have a bottom crust and are unmolded before serving. Here we are molding the dough. And a fun tip for it not to swell up during baking is to place some chickpea seeds on top of the dough before they enter the oven. For the preparation of the apple puree or jam, you will need to wash the apples and place them in a cooking pot with enough water to cover them and let it boil. Let them boil for 15 or 20 minutes or until soft. Then drain the apples and let them cool down. Once they are cold, peel them and put them back in the cooking pot. Add some water and a pinch of sugar, and using a potato masher or a spoon, mash the apples into a thick puree.
Something really cool about the apple jam tart is that you can change the main ingredient. Probably for vegetables, if you like carrots, pumpkins, cucumbers, or also sweet potatoes, that would be another option. It is up to you. A fun fact about jam. Jam falls somewhere between a solid and a liquid, as it contains chunks of fruits that are solid, but the fruit juice becomes liquid when left at room temperature.
Once the dough is completely cooked, fill the tarts with the apple puree.
Did you know that the first apple tree in the United States was planted by the company Pilgrims when they arrived from Europe? Pretty interesting, isn't it? On the top of our pastry, we're going to use coconut flakes. But before that, we need to spread the coconut flakes on a pan in order to toast it. And that can be used as a dessert topping. But also you could use nuts or almonds, whatever you like. Toasting the coconut brings out a more complex flavor in the tart and creates a slightly crisper texture. We can also add some red fruits, such as raspberry, blueberry, cranberry, strawberry. It is up to you. You choose how sweet and tasty you would like to have your tarts.
And at the end, this is how they look. But if you want to know how they taste, you will have to prepare them yourself. We hope you enjoy making them as much as we did. And keep up with our channel, Cooking with Goose.